Hey everybody, this is Shock, and we're giving you a nighttime ride here. And I thought I would tell you about a little spooky true story that happened to my family and I. Ooh, spooky. It's a true ghost story. Ghost, demon, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of windy, so hold on a second. Adjusting the camera. I thought it's a nighttime ride, so let's talk to you about some pretty bizarre stuff. Now, before I tell you this story, I want you to know I'm not joking, because it's pretty weird. This is a true ghost story that happened to my family and I when I was like in junior high school. I have a sister and a mom and dad, so the four of us were living in a house. I'm going to tell you about that. Now, before I get into hold on a second. It's Friday night. People are acting nuts. And I'm going to be taking a different freeway because they're working on this other freeway. So I'm going to be taking this freeway going to the right. And usually it's bumper to bumper on the interchange part. But once it gets over there, I'm free sailing and we hit some pretty fun speeds. So you'll see what it's like to be on a high-speed motorcycle ride at nighttime. Here's the slow part. So this is the on-ramp. It's going to curve to the right, but I'll use the slow part to tell you about the boring part, and then we'll build up to the bizarre part. Now, let me set the stage for you. I'm in junior high school at the time. Maybe I should do lane splitting here. This is legal if I cut down the middle. I'm in junior high school at the time. The only thing is it's hard for me to concentrate at the same time. And I can't see the guy's mirror. Okay, I'm in junior high school at the time. And yes, this is legal in California. Everyone always asks me that. Other states, I know you guys can't lane split. Haha, I can do it. It's kind of dangerous, but it is legal. I wouldn't do it unless the traffic's going really slow like it is now. So I'm in junior high school. Oh, this Volkswagen Bug wants to get over. I'm in junior high school, and this is where I stop, right here. I'm not going to lane split anymore. We'll let this guy in the truck who's inches away from me, my fault, let him go. Thank you. I'm waving so people don't get mad at me. People don't like it when you can move forward and they got to wait. Look at all that time I saved. And so we're in junior high school, and my parents, and we're out in California, my parents had just bought a house, and I kid you not, this house looked straight out of Amityville Horror. It even looked like a haunted house. On a lot of land, neighbors not really close by. In California, for the most part, they got you stacked up like sardines, but every now and then you can buy a place in California, if it's not a tract home, like a custom-built home, where you're not stacked up, and so you have a lot of room. So here's the players in this true story. My mom, my dad, my sister, my grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side, and my aunt on my mom's side. In other words, my mom's sister. Now, I might offend some people telling the story. I don't mean to offend Catholics. I believe Catholics can be saved. But I was going to a Catholic church, which was not a good church. They did not really teach Bible. Otherwise, I would have known witchcraft, the Ouija board, and stuff like that was wrong. Now, I don't blame that on just the Catholic Church. My parents were also atheistic, I would say. And they went to Catholic church because that's like the church you go to out here in California, or so we thought. And I was an atheist kid. You know how it wasn't my choice to go to church. I hated going to Catholic church. They took me to church. I didn't believe any of it. And I was an atheist. I was not saved. Now, we didn't go to church regularly, but we went the 2 required days and nights, Easter and Christmas. We were those types. But we weren't saved. Our whole family wasn't saved. my parents, I would say, yeah, maybe they believed in God, but they weren't saved. Believing in God doesn't mean you're saved. Even the demons believe in God. Scripture says that they believe in him and they tremble. Remember in the Bible, when, not to get sidetracked, remember in the Bible when Jesus was walking by a graveyard and there was a demon-possessed man there? Some scholars believe he had 1,000 demons in him, because as he walked by the man started shouting, "I know who you are. You're the Son of the Most High. What do you have to do here with us? Have you come to torment us before our time?" This is the terror they had of Jesus Christ. And Jesus told the demons to be quiet, be still, and he said, "What is your name?" And in that culture, when someone asked you your name and you submitted to it, it was a type of submission. And they said, "We are legion because we are many." Legion could be like 1,000. So some scholars believe this guy had 1,000 demons, spirits within him. So back to my story. Everything I'm going to tell you is 100% true. It's going to be shocking. I've never told this story before on video. Some of you guys, my friends, my atheist friends, my Christian friends, we don't agree on everything, especially if you're an atheist. But I have friends that are atheists and stuff like that. I really want them to be saved. I love them. But I don't agree with them on their worldview. I think it's madness. However, I've told some of them this story. And a lot of them have said, "You need to tell that story. Do a video on it." And I go, "All right." So I'm actually doing this as a favor for some of my atheist friends and some of my Christian friends that like the story. So now the story begins. So we move into this house, which is straight out of Amityville Horror. Looks just like Amityville Horror house. And we have no problems at the house. Whoa, let's go over here. We have no problems at this house at all. But the church that we went to, the Catholic church that my mom and dad, would go to and stuff, there's a lot of, at least at that church, and please Catholics, don't be mad at me, I know lots of Catholics that are saved and stuff, but at this church, and I won't say the church name, but I don't believe it's a good church, now knowing what I know about the Bible, they put a lot of emphasis on Mary worship and different types of people throughout the church. Like, have you heard of Padre Pio, the guy that had stigmata on his hands supposedly? And so all these things get you to be where you're kind of fascinated by these supernatural phenomena. And I do believe in the supernatural, but as an atheist at the time, it was interesting to me to delve into this. And it was, I will admit, one of the stupidest things I ever did was getting involved with the Ouija board as an atheist. And this is my true story, never before shared with you guys, but hopefully my story can shed some light on the reality of the spiritual world. One day we decide, I don't know how we did it, I think we were watching something on TV, and I'm like, "Oh, we got to get this Ouija board." And I begged my mom to get the Ouija board. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Ouija board is, I do not believe there's any power to the board. I just believe it's a tool, but I do believe it can be used. This is my personal belief. I do believe that it can be used, and I'm going to prove it to you. At least I've seen it with my own eyes, what happened in our house, that it can be used to, well, if bad stuff happens. I'll tell you in a moment. This guy on my right is really going to hit me. After this, guys, I promise you the speeds pick up because I'm going to switch freeways. So I begged my mom, "Oh, we got to get this Ouija board, and so my mom, she doesn't know that it's wrong, to do this. So we go buy the Ouija board at Toys R Us. They had a little Toys R Us store. They still sell them. I think Hasbro or something sells them. So we go and buy the Ouija board, And again, I don't condone using the Ouija board. I think if you do it, you're stupid, like I was when I did it. So if you want to be stupid, you know, you don't want to be stupid. Who would? So we go get the Ouija board, and what's this say? Highway 330 closed at Highland Avenue. Use Highway 18 or 38. Okay. We go get the Ouija board, and wow, look at that guy, that cool motorcycle. And my aunt and we try it by ourselves, and my sister's there also. So my aunt and I are trying the Ouija board, and let's see if I can get you some good footage over here because I got to pick up Speedy Mate. And what we do to get all like dramatic and stuff is we light some candles, and it's nighttime when we do it. We light some candles and stuff, and we have the Ouija board there. And basically, it's a board with like a piece of plastic nowadays. And one person sits across from you, and you both put your hands on the piece of plastic. It slides around the board. You know, there's some physics to it, I know that. And you basically, you try to contact spirits and stuff like that. I know it's very stupid. I'm ashamed of it. But I think the story will do a lot of good, so I want to share it with you. I've never done it again since then, but so we start doing this, and my aunt and I both feel like, she said the same thing, we get like this cold chill come over you, and we both looked at each other like darting eye looks at the same time, like it was like you felt something. I know it sounds silly, but I'm telling you the truth. Why would I ridicule myself on this video and tell you this embarrassing story unless it was the truth? So, yes, pick up speed, precious RPMs. So we're doing the Ouija board, and all of a sudden we feel something, you know, cold chill, everything. We start asking it questions. I think my aunt said, you know, is there someone here with us? And it says yes, no, and then there's letters and numbers, right? And it can actually, it moves around and it spells things out. So we asked certain things, and at first it kind of wasn't doing it, and then it started doing it. And my sister's there writing down what it says, and it ended up, it was like some little girl or something like that. But the part that really shocked me was, you know, I was asking my aunt, are you doing it? And she's like, no, you're doing it. And we're like accusing each other of sliding it around, right? And I believe my aunt, she's saved now. At the time she wasn't. We're both saved. We're both Christians. But we talked about this before, and neither one of us was doing it. We're like little kids. We're around the same age at the time. So let's go this way. Here we go. So the question I ask it is, I'm like, okay, well, when is the world going to end, right? And what it spells out, I've never heard the word before. Now I know it, but at the time, it starts spelling out A, N, and it basically spells out a word like Anna Dominic, which is the abbreviation for AD, you know, BC, AD, and it's something like, if you look it up, it was weird. It's like the birth of the child coming into the world. And so this is a very sharp corner, hold on. I mean, not sharp, it's very dangerous, because I always see oil and coolant here. Let's flip my brights on. Look how bright my brights get. Isn't that awesome? Okay, there ain't no stopping us now, God willing. Here we go. Let me get into the fast lane, guys, and then I'll get to the part where my dad sees the ghost. Whoa, that guy's set up. 6th gear, I believe. Okay. Finally, a good freeway. So after that, you know, I go look up in the dictionary and everything, and I'm like, what the hell's this? And it looks like a real word. Freaking me out, right? I'm like, maybe my subconscious mind was doing it, but neither one of us, I mean, when do you use the word Anna Dominic in a sentence? Neither one of us were like kids. We never heard of that word. So it was at this point in my life, I'm like, you know what? Even though I was an atheist, there's something there to the spiritual world. I could not deny it. I mean, I had a feeling, like a cold feeling that I had never felt before. Like, not something that I manufactured myself, but something that was put in the room with us. Honest to God, you guys, I'm telling you the truth. It was bizarre. Now weird things start happening in the house. My mom, she's in the kitchen and she comes into the living room. She goes, "Did you guys just come in and hit me like on her side, like punch her in the side and stuff?" And we're like, "No." And then it kept happening to her, like if someone go like punching you in the side. And then so I'm thinking, well, maybe my mom has like a muscle spasm. But then we'd be in the living room and we'd hear dishes moving around, ching ching, like, and you go in there and the dishes would be like all over the place, like glasses and stuff. I'm kind of building up to it. I don't want to miss anything. Also, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but there was like phone calls being made from the house, like at weird times of the day, because we would get the bill and it would show, because back then they didn't have it where you could just call unlimited, you know, like the billing that the phone company has is different now. Now it's like you can call unlimited, they have different plans, but we're like, who are all these calls like at 12 midnight and stuff? And then you'd call the number and the number would be disconnected, or it would just ring or something. So it was weird. And then the phone company said, don't worry about it, no one lives there. I don't understand that part, even if that has anything to do with this ghost thing that came in the house. But I'm just throwing that in there because that started happening at the same time. Now, my grandmother on my dad's side, she comes over. Hold on, I gotta punch through here. Not to leave you guys in suspense. She comes over, same thing, she's in the kitchen, same thing that happened to my mom, except she says it feels like someone's tapping her like on the shoulder, and she comes in like real white, like she, you know, got real startled, and she's asking us, you know, did we come in and hit her, you know? And my sister and I were in the living room. We're like, no, it was just my sister and I, and then my grandmother was in the kitchen. So at that point, I'm starting to think, you know what, because I wasn't really paying attention and stuff. I'm like, something weird's going on in this house. And maybe I caused it, because it didn't happen until after I did that damn Ouija board thing. So, okay, then we'll go to my grandfather and then my sister and my aunt. My grandfather was out back, and we lived on a bunch of acreage of land. There's no one around, right? And he was painting the house, like the eaves and stuff. And there's these little pebbles, little tiny pebbles, like those decorative pebbles right by the window. And he said that pebbles kept being thrown at him. And he come back inside. Are you guys throwing pebbles? Did you see anybody throw pebbles? And we're like, no. And by this time I know. I mean, how much more proof and evidence? Hold on, guys. Let's go this way. How much? Oh, I knew that semi was going to do that. Let me go real quick. Let me go. How much more proof and evidence do you need that something bizarre is happening in the house? I'm telling you the truth, you guys. It was bizarre. And this is not even the climactic crescendo of what happened. Then my aunt and my sister are in the kitchen and they hear a noise, like a groaning, moaning type noise, while they're in the kitchen, and it freaks them out. And they come, this is when I started like, okay, I want to move now. They come in, like all yelling and everything, that they heard a noise in there. Like some man, like a groaning noise. I'm not even going to imitate it because it's hilarious in a way, but it's bizarre. Now, at nighttime, we'd be sleeping, and right around 12 o'clock, 12-ish, we'd hear boom, 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 like footsteps coming up the steps. I'm not making this up. And then we all had our separate rooms, so we'd come out of the doorway of our rooms, and it was an upstairs downstairs house, and we would come out, we'd all be looking like at the steps because it sounded like someone's coming up the steps, and nobody's there, of course. What would happen? My dad had a double-barrel shotgun that his brother let him, borrow because all these things happening in the house was freaking us out. So my dad would be at the top of the steps with the double-barrel shotgun, and we'd all be coming out looking. It was wild. Now, there's the last part where my dad sees it. My dad sees it. I got a video on my channel here. I believe it's still on here, called My Dad Sees a Ghost. Type in ghost and you might see it. And where I interview my dad on video talking about it. Well, my dad was in the den. There's like a den here to the left, and then the middle's like this big family room area. We had a family room and like living room. And then to the right is the kitchen. And my dad hears some noise in the kitchen, like dishes moving around. And it's like, 11:30 at night or so, and he's doing his schedule for his job. He just sits there working, doing his schedule and stuff. And so he yells to my mom, like, "Hey, is that you?" And he doesn't hear anything. So at that point, we're all sleeping. My dad's still downstairs, and we hear, "Help!" My dad's yelling, "Help!" like bloody murder. "Help!" So we all go run downstairs. I'm running down the steps. You know how your feet go boom, 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 like you're trying not to trip. And we run downstairs and we look, and my dad's face is like white, like as if he's seen a ghost. Literally. And he's like white. I've never seen him that white before. He was like an albino. No offense to my albino subscribers, but he was like an albino, one of you. And so my dad didn't want to freak us out. He didn't want to say, "I just saw a ghost." Go back to sleep, you guys. Because we'd be like, "I ain't going to sleep." So we're like, "What happened? What happened?" And he goes, "Oh, go back to sleep." And I knew something happened, but to like protect us from it, like, because he was kind of freaked out himself, he's like, just go back to sleep. I thought I saw something and whatever. He gave us some song and dance. And then we kept begging him, "What was it?" And he goes, "Well," and he told us. And what happened, he said he was in the den and he heard a noise, and he got up from his desk, and as he walks through the doorway and he's looking out into the living room, family room area, like how it goes, there's a room here, then the kitchen, he sees a dark cloud, is what my dad, how he explains it. And I really raked my dad over the coals because I never saw it. Nor did I want to be honest with you. But I raked my dad over the coals. We'll explain it, and he drew me a picture of it, right? And what it looked like is the head of a man, and then the shoulders, but the body's cut off, like he has no legs. It's bizarre, just like a bell, like a bell that you would ring, kind of like that, like, And he said it looked like smoke, kind of like smoke gasoline. You know how it's kind of like you can see through it, but you can see that there's like an outline of it and stuff. And then he said what happened is that he goes, within like a second, he snapped his fingers. I can't do it in these gloves. He said it was instantly right in front of him, and it freaked him out. It scared him real bad. And he said it was like moving around him and stuff. So at that point, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I know you're going to make fun of me and hurt my little feelings, but I never had seen so much bizarre things happen in a house. And what this did for me, I didn't say, "Oh, I believe in God." I'll be honest with you, I didn't immediately become a Christian. But believe you me, I started praying to God to hedge my bets. I'm like, oh God, help me. I mean, it was like a natural thing to like, and I did not want to see it. I didn't ask Jesus into my heart or anything like that, but I was praying to God. I started praying, God, please protect me. I don't want to see this thing. Now, if I saw a little black funnel cloud or whatever you call it, this little bell thing, it's not so much that it would freak me out, but the waiting, hold on a second, just stop it. The waiting for it to happen, never knowing when it's going to startle you, oh, I would hate that. Just like sleeping in my bed at night not knowing, is this my turn? Because everybody in the house, everybody but me, had either got hit by it or had seen it or had things thrown at them, like my grandpa had the little pebble things. I have no doubt that the Ouija board had something to do with that, because I can trace when all the problems happened to when we did that. I don't think if you put a Ouija board in front of you, something's going to happen bad. But I think if you start reaching out, and I'm by no means am I qualified, I'm not like some exorcist or whatever, but I do believe, I'm not embarrassed to go on video to say I do believe there is a spiritual realm. We witnessed it. We saw it. It was not a natural occurrence of nature.